All right, here we are. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who's joining us today live. Thank you so much. We love, appreciate, thankful, and grateful for you. And those who watch the replay, thank you so much, both for your presence, your beautiful energy. We love, appreciate, and thankful for you. I'm Anita, and I'm the founder and executive director of Empowerment Through Spoken Word Poetry. Tap into You, a Help to Heal Foundation, where we advocate and we promote peace and love by way of advocacy, our autoimmune, rare disease, and gift of love, domestic violence kit, and other advocacy work, cultural arts, lyrical healing with Michelle Brown, our vice president, and other artistic endeavors, and philanthropy, where we send, when we can, gifts, monetary gifts to different organizations. We have with us here this beautiful Saturday, June 24th, we have our honored guest, Hilda Caleb, who is our beautiful UK ambassador. And of course, I'm going to put the last but not least, always, our beautiful sister, Michelle Brown, who is our vice president. So I said her last because I'm going to give this floor to her right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, amazing Anita. Thank you. And welcome everyone that is joining us either live or on the replay. And again, like Dr. Anita said, we have the beautiful Hilda, our United Kingdom ambassador. So we want to highlight her today and have a great time.
Thank you. All right, well, welcome, Hilda. First of all, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being who you are, what you do, for being such a viable and important part of, with empowerment through spoken word. And we're just so thankful and grateful for you. What we like to do is just ask you, please share with us, some things that you do. This morning, I just found out that you're an author. So just share with us. We want to know everything about you so we can just love on you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you very much for having me as a guest here today. It's amazing. And I love this role and what Empowerment Through Spoken Word Poetry is all about, which is about spreading peace in this world and unity and inclusion. It's very much in my heart. And what I do is a mixture of things. So I was a journalist and a communications manager for a very long time. And I love that. I did that for about 25 years. And I worked all over the world, in India, in New Zealand. I was working for the Red Cross. I worked in all sorts of different roles and did amazing, interesting things. And then after that, when I had my children, I'm a single mom to two daughters who are now 15 and 14, and myself and their dad split up when they were 2 and 1. I decided to retrain because I thought, well, what happens if they get sick in the middle of the night? What do I do? And so I retrained as a holistic health therapist, and I did 3 years of training with someone called Donna Eden, who's an American healer. She is amazing. And she taught us all about the auras, the chakras, the meridians, the 9 different energy systems in the body. She cured herself of multiple sclerosis, in fact, when she was in her 20s, and now she's 80. So she was given the last rites. And I was inspired by her. So I retrained in energy healing, and this is what I do. I'm a trained Reiki master. I have attuned 25 different practitioners in something called Rahani celestial healing, which is like Reiki. And then I was always like writing. So I've written 4 books, which are 3 children's picture books and a memoir. And I like to speak, as you can probably tell. So I speak as well on different topics like diversity and inclusion, gender equality, mental health. And I also still currently work as the managing director of a mental health organization part-time. So quite busy.
Bless your heart. I mean, I had no idea. Michelle, we are blessed to have this sister with us. This is beautiful, Hilda.
Yes,
Thank
we are.
Wow.
Yes.
So regarding your holistic healing, how do you have like a service? I don't even, for me, like holistic healing, energy work, I don't consider it business. I consider more of a service kind of thing.
Service.
Yeah. Do you have a service where you service people for holistic, with holistic healing?
Yeah. Before COVID, I had a very thriving practice, which was face-to-face, and I would meet with my clients and I would do various forms of massage with energy healing. So helping them to shift trauma out of the body and calm their nervous system down, because a lot of them had things like fibromyalgia or fixed, frozen shoulder or things like that. And I would also use the tapping points and this is what helped me, because I was terrified of public speaking. I was terrified of failure. And so I had racked by self-doubt. And I knew that if that had affected me for so long and I was procrastinating, I wanted to be able to help others. So I was doing these face-to-face sessions. I then also trained as a mental health awareness trainer. And I was also doing life coaching. So I did that face-to-face. And then COVID hit, and I didn't really know how to transfer all that online because I hadn't used Zoom very much. And so I did a bit of teaching of mindfulness online. But then my mum, to cut a long story short, she wasn't getting on in lockdown in her care home. So I got her out before she was 80. It was her 80th birthday. And I thought, no, I cannot have my mum having her 80th birthday in her care home where she's basically locked up. So I got her out. And then she lived with us for 2 years and I cared for her. And while I was caring for her, I gradually got my practice back up and running, and I wrote my memoir, which is called Truth Be Told. So I spent 1.5 years writing that and getting myself sort of back up. And that's when I got the job as the managing director of the mental health organization. So now my mum's now in a care home, but she's not locked up. She's still alive. She's thriving because she was starving before, and I feel blessed that she's still alive and that happened. I guess I'm a bit of a rescuer, but there was a good reason for it. And so now I do life coaching. So I've just set up a practice, and I've got to get the website next up, and it's called Roots of Hope. And what I'm doing with Roots of Hope is I'm focusing on women of color, and I'm helping them with life coaching, with all my skills, to offer them ways to get through, break that cycle of trauma, and break any self-doubt, limiting beliefs. So I'm doing mindset mentoring, I'm doing health and wellbeing coaching and business coaching through that. This is very new. This has just been set up, and I'm focusing just on women of color.
That's okay. Yes. Okay. This is amazing. Okay, so I'm looking. I was just writing down. I said, "Oh, rescuing Hilda." So I like to put adjectives to people, or wait, is adverb, whatever. But give a name. That's no healing Hilda. Remember, you call you harmony Hilda, healing Hilda. Share with us. Okay, one thing I want to ask you: what's your take on distant healing?
Distant healing. Oh, it works. It works big time. I used distant healing during COVID on my cousin. He had pneumonia in hospital. He came out the next day. I've used it on 70 people. I once put out just a request on Facebook. If you want some free distant healing, I can do that. I had 70 people, mostly from India, coming back to me saying, yes, please. So I did that. I had some good feedback from that. I have sent healing to war zones in a group, and that has helped in that situation. It totally works.
That's okay. That's beautiful. And what type of holistic? Because I know you say you're a Reiki master.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned another type of modality, healing modality. So what distant healing modality do you use?
I use Rahani, which is spelled Rahanni, celestial healing. And Rahani means of the heart. We are all connected. So we're all impacting on each other all the time. We're interconnected circles. We're part of a tapestry of pieces that are moving. And that's how you'll find the synchronistic connections. You might be thinking of somebody, the next thing they call you up. So we're all interconnected. And Rahani comes from the celestial being. So Reiki is from the earth. And it was, sort of discovered, channeled in about 100 years ago to Dr. Usui, whereas Rahani was only channeled 20 years ago to the founder who I have met. I've been blessed to meet her, Carol Stacey, who's still alive. She lives in the UK. She was channeled it. She saw a 7-foot logos, which is like a teacher for the universe, called Lord Melchizedek, 7 foot tall, luminous presence in her bedroom. And he told her, you have been chosen to be the channel for Rouhani and bring it onto this planet. And this only happened 20 years ago.
Wow.
And her husband, who's very skeptical about anything like this, spiritual, and he was next to her in bed, this is at nighttime, and he saw the being. So then she knew that she hadn't imagined it. And so Rouhani is from the heaven, it's from the Sirius, Andromeda, and the Pleiades. And it's a 5th dimensional healing vibration, very fast. You know, life is all about frequency, vibration, energy. It's very fast. And I have used it for my clients online. I have also worked in a hospice for about a year locally, and I've used it on terminal cancer patients, and the results phenomenal. I mean, they have had, well, if they've been really scared of death, they have passed over peacefully. If they have had problems with cannulas being put into their arms by the medicine team, they have lost that anxiety. If they've been having difficulty breathing, have had an oxygen mask, they are much more free to breathe after Rouhani. If they've got water retention in their legs because they haven't moved, you know, because they're bedridden, that I've used that on one lady, and within half an hour, she said, I can feel my feet again for the first time in weeks. So these results are phenomenal. And I've attuned 25 different practitioners. You have a one-day accredited certified course that you can take, which before you could only teach it face-to-face, but now we can teach it online. And so I can teach globally. It's a one-day accredited course, and you will be tuned to the 3 symbols of Rouhani, which are truth, love, and compassion. So truth goes into your solar plexus, love goes into your heart, and compassion goes into your 3rd eye. And once you're attuned to them, you absorb their frequencies, and you cannot help but live by those principles and in that energy. So you have no fear then of speaking the truth about things in a diplomatic way, but because you're just living in that truth.
Absolutely. That's beautiful, because I know Michelle, I'm not taking over, Michelle. When I had received my attunement for Reiki, and the first time the Reiki 1, the practitioner said, once you receive the attunement, it's always with you. And you can't do anything with it because it's nothing that you can take away, or even if you don't think about it, it's always there. But and I know that to be true. So, and my next question is, because I'm so very interested in things like that. So you do teach you do offer attunement to Rouhani?
Yes.
Okay, I'm very interested. I very would like to talk with you because I very much would like to be attuned in that arena, if you will.
That would be
Very
incredible,
so.
because you are so respected, Anita, and you have a wide, audience, and I know that you can spread such a ripple effect around the world with this.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, and thank you. So I'll get in touch with you. And on that note, I'm putting on my mute. Okay, Michelle, because I didn't want to take over anything. I didn't want to do that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Anita.
No, you're fine, Dr. Anita. Never take over at all. I'm being educated right now just by listening to all that you do. My knowledge on Reiki is limited, but I'm listening to you, and I'm getting a little bit, deeper understanding. And you have such a rainbow of services that you offer and talents that you give. My question is, how do you see, what is your vision to providing these services to people? What's your vision? What do you hope to accomplish? I don't want to use the word hope, but what do you look to accomplish by using all your many talents that you have?
Well, my long-term vision is world peace. It is world peace, and we have that through a balance of masculine and feminine, which we really currently don't have in the world at the moment. So what I do with my practices is women who feel like because it's mainly women, unfortunately, that have been abused, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's sexual abuse, even though we're getting a bit bigger understanding now that I think in the UK, it's something like 1 in 6 boys were abused sexually. This is only just kind of coming to light, but it's definitely still the case that women are the ones that are going through the abuse. And what I'm offering with my services to bring that balance into the world, because women are, suffering in guilt and shame and silence. So through my writing, I talk about my own experience of domestic violence as a child and how I came through it. And I have been raped twice. I write about this in my book. So I waive my right to anonymity because I want to help give others hope who are going through that darkness, and for women who feel that they have gone to the justice system, have given their story to the police and to the courts, and have not been listened to, and they feel that something's wrong. What can I do about it? I've been put on the stand. Even if they get to the courts, I've been put on the stand. It's like I'm the one that's treated as a criminal. There's something's wrong with our system. So through the services I offer, I do writing for well-being. So you can write about what's happened to you, because that's so healing and it sheds that guilt and the shame. I offer speaking out. So if you're at the point where you want to speak out more and be a public speaker about what's happened to you, then I will support you to speak out and how to craft your speech. I used to write speeches for ministers and prime ministers and mayors and different senior people, so speech writing. And so you can speak about what your experience in your own words, in your own way, and have the confidence to do that. And I also am going to start running sharing story circles. So women who don't want to speak out publicly, but just want to share privately what's happened to them, I'm going to start running those sharing circles, because that's incredibly healing. And through that, we will shed those lower emotions of guilt and shame, which you have no reason to hold, because that you did nothing wrong. And then when you have that empowerment and that resilience through sharing with others, we will rise, women will rise, and then we will have that gender equality that we've not had for so long. And I see a more peaceful planet.
That's beautiful. I love that. You took, when you said, I see a world, the vision, a world of a peaceful planet. You took me to a place when I was 16. And I remember sharing with myself saying, I believe it's going to happen. And I would love, before I make my transition on this earth, to actually witness world peace. And that's just stayed with me from then. And I'm 66 now. So from 16 to 66, and it still continues. And I just love that you took me back there just this moment. You took me back there when I remembered saying that. Thank you. Thank you, Hilda.
Yeah, and I like your approach towards helping women, where you're not allowing them to, I guess, come from a victimhood standpoint, more for empowerment. So yes, I like that.
Yeah,
women are strong. We are strong. It's just that we somehow, because of this, a lot of the systems and the conditioning, you're constantly bombarded from a young age with, it's all about looks, you've got to look a certain way. And suddenly there's a kind of war against the woman who, and all our shapes and forms and colors and beauty and all of this. And by the time girls are 8, they're suddenly questioning whether they could be that neuroscientist or that astronaut or whatever they want to do. They're questioning it from a very young age, and this has to stop. So this is another thing, actually, is to having a thought leadership role in terms of what we put into our brains, what we expose ourselves to. What I would love to have run a campaign with a group of empowered women against the current social media paradigms, but you have to sort of also think, well, we are sucking this in, aren't we? We're sucking this in. We're allowing this. Our complete worship of celebrities is allowing this. So we also have a part to play in drawing ourselves away from that obsession and that fixation with celebrities.
Absolutely. Because you just did something profound. Early you mentioned how you share with women and you show them how to speak publicly about their experience. However, you also have a group, because I've been one, this thing about how your test is your testimony, that you've got to get out there and you've got to tell the world what your experiences were. And I've always kind of disagreed with that. And you kind of connected that dot to me that, okay, some of that where you've got to be up front and center is that celebrity thing, that ideology that we've got to be out front and center. So I'm not going to heal until I be out there to share with everyone about my experience. And not everyone is saying, no, I don't feel I need to let everybody know what happens with me.
Yeah.
So does that mean I'm not going to be healed? But you just touched on something, that to be out there, this thing to be out there to share with everybody, could that be subconsciously we're in that celebrity mode thing, that it's important to be a celebrity of sorts?
It
You
is.
know what I mean?
It is. Yeah, your 5 minutes of fame, they call it. Your 5
Yeah.
minutes of fame to get out there. Yeah. And even people there's many people who don't even want that 5 minutes of fame. They just want to share privately. And if that's the benchmark for how you want to, live your life, well, maybe just, you don't have to necessarily do it on Facebook or whatever. You can just set up your own group and perform the empowerment through spoken word poetry, open mic sessions, and it's where you come from in your mind, isn't it? It's whether do you want to be, is it all about me? Or do you want to be of service to others? What are you doing it for? If I want to stand in front of 20,000 people, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it. I'm putting myself through it to give hope and inspire other women that they can. That is not their fault what happened to them, and the systems are wrong, and that we are powerful. It's for them. So it depends where you come from with all of it, really.
Absolutely, absolutely. So someone in a private group can be of service to others by healing in that private group and sharing their energy. I always thought that, someone can look in your eyes and see where you've been. All we got to do is look in your eyes. You don't have to say a thing, and I can kind of, know, okay, this person has suffered. This person has experienced life, the true, all of those gamuts and abysses and all that kind of stuff of life. So I'm loving this. Okay, Michelle, before because I was looking at the time, it's 9:54. Wow, this time went by so fast. I want you to be able to share every however people can get in contact with her. So if you have some more questions, I was just keeping track of the time. It's 9:54 now, so we still have more.
Okay. But yes, I enjoyed this conversation. I'm walking away educated on Reiki. And I would like to know more about it. Because you mentioned the young lady you were working with healed yourself from multiple sclerosis, and that's a disorder that I'm experiencing. I've been experiencing for the last 27 years. So I'm very much interested in that. And also in the other endeavors that you do, the small groups where you say you utilize your writing to help these women find their voices. I think it's amazing and excellent. And so I kudos to you. I admire everything that you're doing. And I love the title of your book, The Truth Be Told, because I think that actually gives others permission to now tell their truth. So real quick, how did you, when you created that book, like what was your, again, I always go about vision, what was your purpose and your intent behind it?
My intent was I went to rock bottom in my life as an adult. I had a drinking problem and just put myself through really, really difficult situations that and so in reading that, I hope that other people can, I laugh at it kind of now, I can laugh through it, that other people can see that they can get through it. And they don't necessarily have to sink to the depths that I sunk down to. They can get themselves out of it sooner and quicker. And to come with me and rise up and join other women and say, hey, look, this is wrong. We need to do something actually about this. If we can't trust our courts and our police are doing nothing about this, what I'm saying about this, like if you've been raped is really important. We need systems, that are going to support women, and we need to start questioning why we don't have them and not put up with anything less than the best for us.
Where can we get your book?
It's on Amazon. Yeah. So all my books are on Amazon. Hilda Callup, K-A-L-A-P. I've got 3 children's picture books, Donna and Dermot series. One's about natural health, one's about overcoming grief and loss, and one's about anti-bullying. And then, truth be told, is my memoir, all about my life from 0 to 35. And then if people want to connect with me, I have a Roots of Hope Facebook page. I'm also on Instagram, which is my name, Hilda Callup 1, and I'm also on LinkedIn. So I'm pretty ubiquitous. You can reach me fairly easily.
Cool. And LinkedIn and Instagram, it's your name?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right. Anything, Michelle? This is just, you're gonna have to come back.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I didn't get more into the holistic healing. I want to hear more about the energy healing. I mean, that's, yeah, all of
More
that.
about the women's groups. So yes.
Yes,
Definitely
we're gonna want you to come back. Absolutely. Yeah. So Hilda, just share with us any lasting words from your heart. Anything else that we can know from you, or how we can contact you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, women, you're a power, you're a strength. You are enough as you are. There is so much out there that is going to help you to heal, all naturally around you. Think of the natural world when you're, suffering in your health, for example, and lemon balm for anxiety is perfect. Just pick some lemon balm, put it in your hot water, and that stops your anxiety, your depression, seasonal affective disorder. Think of the natural world and the beauty out there, and just think in your head all the time. Like if you're already struggling with money, for example, just have a word that's going to click you out of it. So when I'm struggling, I think, I'm like, how am I going to pay this bill? I always say the word plenty to myself. So have your word that you always, and it flips the switch for you. So there's a couple of tips there to empower you. I love to come on and talk a bit more with other tips as well. So yeah, and if you want to reach me, Hilda Callup, K-A-L-A-P. I'm on most social media. I'd love to hear from you.
Okay, so we're going to have you back for Hilda's tips. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Thank you, Hilda. This has just been absolutely beautiful. Michelle,
it has.
Close us out.
Yes, thank you so much, Hilda. This was a very enriching, enlightening, and educational, roundtable discussion. Thank you. We do look forward to having you again. Thank you, everyone that's been listening and joined us live and watching the replay. You can enjoy it.
Thank you, everyone. All right. One moment.